What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to the channel. So after Friday's announcement about Dungeon Defenders Awakened and new projects coming to the world of Dungeon Defenders, that has left lots of folks wondering exactly what is going to happen with DDA. Now, this, of course, is just a whole bunch of guesses based off of things that I've heard from Chromatic, either on their Discord server, on live streams, or in chats. So we quite possibly could get all of these things, or we might quite possibly get none of these things. So that is to be taken into consideration. Now, first things first, lots of folks are bringing up Dungeon Defenders Eternity and what's going to happen with DDA. Well, the thing to remember right out of the gates is Dungeon Defenders Awakened is not a server-sided game. It is peer-to-peer and local play. So there is no server to shut down. What happened with Dungeon Defenders Eternity and the server shutting down for it is not something that's going to happen with Dungeon Defenders Awakened, as there's just not a server for them to shut down. You'll always be able to play Dungeon Defenders Awakened. It will always be available. And another important thing to note is, remember, there is a lot of things in the works. It's not, this is not something that was planned over a long period of time. The team at Chromatic have been working hard to get updates out for Dungeon Defenders Awakened, and there's a lot of things in the works that are just not going to be abandoned. For example, the Tavern Storage, that one, we thought we were going to get it already. It was actually on the last PTR. Tons of work has been put into that, and I think there's very, very high probability of getting that done. Additionally, any final Kickstarter leftovers, and as far as I know, the only thing that is left directly from the Kickstarter is split screen. Now, split screen I think is going to be a tough one for them to tackle. I do think that they will probably attempt to get it functional at least on PC. We'll see exactly how that goes. If any of the old Kickstarter promises are not concluded and met for Dungeon Defenders Awakened, I would guess it would probably be split screen. However, I don't know how much progress they've made into split screen so far. They do have it functional, they're just not happy with how the game runs. So we might potentially get split screen in, we might not. Additionally, although it was never promised, one thing that they have talked about over and over again is they thought they were going to be able to get cross-saves into the game. Cross-saves between PC and different platforms, of course, are something that would be super nice for many players, and I know that they've got a lot of work into it. So are they close enough where it would be easier to just finish up that particular update? Or are they too far away from where they would just abandon that update? That part is still up in the air. It's not, as I mentioned, that's something that wasn't on the Kickstarter. A lot of people think this was something that was promised. It was actually never promised by Chromatic, but it was discussed quite a bit as a possibility. So I think that cross-saves still probably have a high probability to get into the game. Now, I do believe there will be some sort of closure update, not closure as far as in closing down the game, but closure as in leaving it at a better ending point. We'll have to see exactly what that entails, how little or how much. I would imagine, being a creator myself, the developers at Chromatic are probably super excited and ready to move on and start working in a modern game engine and making a modern game. One of the struggles Chromatic has had, if you can just imagine being one of their developers, is you don't get to put your creativity to use as much because you're spending all of your efforts fixing a game that needs to be repaired. So I would guess that the devs there and the engineers there are super excited to get their hands on Unreal 5 and start doing something a little bit more modern. And then the other thing to remember is the door is not locked, it's just closed, or will be closing. So there is still the possibility of a future. Remember, Dungeon Defenders 2 was done, y'all. There was that 2-year break with no updates, public confirmation from Chromatic that they wouldn't be adding anything else in other than a few cosmetics. And Dungeon Defenders 2 became the most updated game in the Dungeon Defenders franchise over the last several years. So there's always the possibility that they come back and take a look at DDA, particularly if people are still continuing to play it and if it's generating some revenue. Now, obviously, DD2 being free to play with a bunch of microtransactions, it had a much easier time fulfilling the generating revenue portion of that, where DDA might struggle a little bit. However, the door is not completely closed, it's just shut for now. So as we get more information on what's to come in Dungeon Defenders Awakened, I will consolidate it all together and keep you all informed here on the channel. No new news yet. As far as I can tell, we probably are not going to hear much of anything until July 21st. So July 21st, of course, is when the announcement or reveal of what their new product is going to be. We may hear more details of what's going to happen with Dungeon Defenders Awakened at that point. I will do my best to get some answers for you all, though. Make sure to let me know down in the comments below if you have any questions you are curious about. I may already know the answer. I may not. So let me know down below, and I'll do my best to get your questions answered. And that will do it for this time around. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take it easy.